Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ETS2 Showcases, and today we are here once again in the Greece DLC, and we're going to be hauling these two water tankers from here in a quarry just outside of Athens, and we're going to head up to Larisa today. Not a crazy long delivery, but driving along some highway infrastructure that we haven't driven on before. Surprisingly, here in Greece, there's actually quite a bit that we still have to explore because, well, I am Prime Simulation, and I get distracted very easily, and often forget to visit some very crucial areas, so I'm going to try and change that moving forward, and today is a good start. And today we're going to be driving the Ford F-Max truck, a free truck mod that is available on the Steam Workshop. I've covered this mod in the past, and I'll try to remember to put the link to my first look video of it in the cards above. However, if you want to pick up this truck for free once again on the Steam Workshop, I will have the link for it down in the description below. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get this F-Max started up and get on the road. All right, let's get rolling. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. It is great to be back here in ETS2 once again and back in a truck mod, and more specifically the Ford F-Max, as I've just mentioned, a wonderful, wonderful mod, a very popular truck mod here on ETS2. Once again, I've covered it in the past, but today's configuration is the space version, which I guess is really the only one that you can do, I think, was this mod anyways. But anyways, highly detailed mod, would recommend you check it out. And once again, back here in the Greece DLC and in this absolutely wonderful quarry depot just outside of Athens. The detail here is incredible. It's amazing. It looked like it's actually a bit of a marble quarry by the looks of it, at least from where we were when we started back there in the Great Wall of White Stone. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me given the historical part of that mining here in Greece, but we've got some stuff to talk about. We're going to head out the gate here and get rolling. It is great to be back here in ETS2, as I've mentioned. I'm trying to get back here a lot more, and as I mentioned in the intro, I have made an unfortunate habit of, well, forgetting a lot of areas in various either map expansions here in ETS2, or for that matter, just other areas of the map that were part of the game itself. So moving forward here, I'm going to try and change that, and well, being back here more frequently is a great way to try and help that out and fill in those gaps in some of the wonderful areas that I have just simply not covered. And it pains me to do so, but my capacity can be limited at times to do these videos. As unfortunate as it is to say, it is the honest truth. I mean, I'm a one-man show. I can only do so much, and I do appreciate all the support here on the channel, no matter what my upload schedule may be or the content that I put out. I truly appreciate all of the love and support here on the videos and around here on Prime Simulation. In my word, this is a nice little tight section here in Greece. I absolutely love these details, and this is what I missed out on admittedly before, but we're not missing out on it now. And look at this infrastructure. This dam is incredible. The scenery here in the Greece DLC is something else. It is something to behold, honestly, if you have not checked out the Greece DLC before. If you haven't even watched maybe some of my other past videos on the Greece DLC, highly recommend you check it out. The scenery is incredible, and I know a lot of you love the DLC, love exploring it. I certainly do as well. So as I mentioned, we're going to be back here more frequently, and obviously the release of the Iowa DLC on the American Truck Simulator side, for those who've been following that, definitely, well, made it a little bit of a challenge in terms of upload and once again my capacity. So ETS2 unfortunately had to just kind of be put aside a little bit. And along with ETS2, some of the other, whether it's games or other forms of content that are in the pipeline, have to be, well, shall I say, adjusted to meet the capacity demands. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And you know what? I can't really complain because I enjoy all of the process involved with it. It's just what I have to do to make things work around here. And as long as I enjoy what I'm doing, that is my main priority. And I know that it will translate to you if I am genuinely enjoying what I'm doing. I can't fake things. I think a lot of you can realize that right now, despite, you know, how I may do my commentary and the more formal nature of it. If I am not genuinely enjoying something, I think you can probably tell by the maybe the energy level or so on of a video. Again, I am human. I can only, you know, quote-unquote mask things up so much, and I try not to do that at all because it's not the authentic way for me to do it, and I don't enjoy watching content that's, well, fake. And we're gonna make sure that car stops and doesn't turn into me, because the AI likes to do that across both games here, ATS and ETS2, that being a stereotypical trait of AI in these games. So anyways, a lot more on ETS2 will be coming in. A more, well, shall I say, proper rotation of content will be starting to move through, along with some other big pieces that will now be able to come out now that the initial grind, shall I say, of the Iowa DLC is complete, and some other content stuff for ATS is going to be in production here over the next little bit, and a differing style. So for those who watch between the different series, it's specifically on the ATS side, that's a little Easter egg for you for something interesting to come. I've got something up my sleeves, which is going to become a new tradition here on the channel, which I think is going to be pretty interesting. But we'll have to wait and see how it's received with the community, and who knows, maybe that format will come here to ETS2. I think it will, but just wait. We'll see what happens here. All exciting things overall. So now in terms of what's happening here in ETS2, well, you know what? There's been, shall I say, a little bit of news. Not a ton, honestly, since the last time we've had one of these videos. Again, a lot of the emphasis recently coming out of SES Software's camp, or the developer, has been around American Truck Simulator and the recent Iowa DLC release and some of that stuff. But obviously, I shall say, we had recently the Farm Machinery DLC release for ETS2. However, that among the community was very much exciting to have here in ETS2, a great DLC overall, but with the caveat that it is, I'd say 98% the same content that is in American Truck Simulator. That came out about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's now being finally released for ETS2, and many community members are seeing it as filler content, which admittedly, I think it's only safe to say that it is, but even still, wonderful to have, and new cargo opportunities there. And I was actually trying to find something else that would go on the flatbed here from that DLC pack, but I found these water tanks, and I wanted to explore this area of Greece more, shall I say, in a priority versus in some of the extra farm equipment DLC cargo types. So I elected to do this delivery, and as we drive across the highways here, it is just wonderful to see the different rock cuts. The general landscapes of Greece is so beautiful to do, and to see, and of course explore the driving sake of it. I'd love to visit this area in real life. As for those who may not know, I am from Canada. That is not something that I have been able to do quite yet, but I am hoping in real life I can do that at some point. But if I can at least try and live some of my travel dreams, shall I say, through ETS2, I will take that. I will take that any day of the week, month, or year. But what's in terms of ETS2 coming up? I've kind of hinted that, well, news has been a little bit quiet. Besides the Farm Machinery DLC release, stuff on Nordic Horizons, well, I guess the Heart of Russia DLC, whatever is going to happen there, and of course the Iceland DLC that is confirmed as well. There's a lot of things that are just a big question mark here in ETS2, and we've got to figure out what's going on and what is happening with traffic up here. Lots of slow trucks. Not quite sure. Well, we'll stay in the slow lane to see if we can see when we go around the bend if there's a little bit of a clearing, or if it's just a truck that got cut off and was going slow, and not quite sure what's happened there. It's not like there was an interchange anywhere where someone's going really slow. It's not even that hilly around here. Not quite sure, but there is a lot of AI traffic, so potentially just some lane changes and traffic doing its thing that's causing some problems. I do like actually the density in these highways. I haven't messed with the traffic density at all within ETS2 or ATS respectively, and I know some people say, well, Prime, you should really mess around with that to make it more realistic. The reason why I generally don't, unless if I use a different mod, which by the way, the Ford F-Max mod is the only mod in this profile today. Just heads up on that one. I generally don't like to do some of the manipulation with the traffic mods because it can impact performance depending on the area of map you are in. That performance hit, given my system, yes, I do have a pretty good system that I run for the games and recording and so on. But I have it pretty finely tuned to make sure that ETS2 and ATS respectively and other games alike can run at the resolution I want, at the quality within that resolution that I want, at a stable frame rate across various weather conditions and atmospheric conditions and so on. That is my priority, to make sure that the video translates to the best possible quality for you, and of course my enjoyment as well, just making things run smoothly with decent visual quality. That is my priority, not maybe having, shall I say, a more realistic level density of AI. Plus, I get cut off enough. I get, annoyed at the AI pretty much every single video now. There's something that goes on, they pull out in front of you, something happens. And if there was even more of that around on some of the highways, I think I may lose my head. So, in some ways, it's also a little bit of a de-stressing agent to not have as many AI around and just leave things standard. And I guess my hope is also that just as things go, inevitably SES software would improve traffic density and spawning in the various map expansions that there are. Again, maybe we'll have to wait for that to come at some point. Now we got to be in the right-hand lane because we are commercial. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter actually, but this is just this is the truck version of the auto pass. So we'll go through here, pay the auto toll, and the green lights and barriers open, and we are good to go. And then we just gotta merge back in with this traffic, which actually should be fine. That car behind us has left space. Well, thank you very much, game. I do appreciate that. As I'm just ragging on the AI, they helped me out a little bit. Quite nice. Oh, and also, by the way, forgot to mention it earlier. This is our ownable Crone trailer, Crone flatbed trailer. I think it's the something HD. Can't quite recall the name of that. The Profiliner HD? Something like that. Wonderful trailer, just in white. Nothing too crazy. Do own it, though, with these water tankers on the back. It's not a heavy delivery by all means. And we actually got to go straight here. Straight through. I think it's Larissa, right? Not Larissa. I'm going to say Larissa. It feels more what I've heard before. But again, pronunciation is not my strong suit, especially for some of these city names. I'm doing my best, folks. Comment down below if I've made that mistake. But anyways, decided to bring the Crone trailer back. It's just a lovely trailer. It just works, and the white is just a classic look for, especially paired with a truck like this Ford F-Max, which is a wonderful truck. Of course, it has its own sounds that you are hearing today. And this color, this, I guess, shall I say, a steely blue gray? It's just a nice look. It's one of the metallic colors that are available with the mod itself. Nothing too crazy once again, but I just like the look of it. And this truck, I wanted to do some more mods as well. Obviously, the stock trucks in ETS2, especially the newer ones, are, to no surprise, very good. But some of these mods are just nice to drive as well, and having something like this Ford F-Max, again, a very popular truck mod, wanted to circle back to it. It's been quite a while, and admittedly, some of the truck selection that is available here on ETS2 that is of decent quality or more modern quality is starting to thin out a little bit. There needs to be some new models and updates coming in, and I'm hoping that is on the roadmap moving forward here for ETS2, obviously. I'm sure SES Software, and I believe I've heard about it, have some other electric trucks up their sleeves that could be coming in, but again, that's only available for now, at least during the quick jobs menu, because there is no charging infrastructure here in ETS2. I do recall that, and many of you have mentioned it as well, that in previous streams, especially the Christmas live streams that SES Software like to do, rigid trucks, or basically box trucks, but rigid chassis trucks are supposed to be coming for ETS2 at some point as well, which will be lovely to have a very different style of truck, but a welcomed addition to the fleet, I would say, for many players. And then, of course, there's Project Coaches, or just Coaches, the Coaches DLC for ETS2 that will be coming at some point in the future. At least that involves passenger transport and is a different area, a different branch for ETS2 that I think will be, well, very, very exciting to try. And the community has been highly respectful of that announcement, and of course, very excited to see the coaches finally coming for ETS2, a feature that was talked about years and years ago when the DLC first, or for the game, sorry, when the game was first, well, teased and launched. There was supposed to be coaches coming, well, very soon after it. Never happened until now. But you know what? Better late than never, I would like to say. And Project Coaches is going to be interesting to see how it develops, and as we get more news on, of course, the different coach types and brands. As far as I know, definitely MAN, Scania, and Volvo, I do believe, are kind of the three that have been featured in screenshots as of yet. We'll have to see if more come either down the line or leading up to the release of the Coaches DLC for ETS2. That will be very exciting to see how it develops. So there's a lot of great things on the horizon for ETS2, but I would like to see more of the, you know, just general trucks come in, some of these are newer models or something here on ETS2. Again, SES Software, I trust that they are working on things behind the scenes. They're always doing amazing work. Licensing in today's day and age is a big factor. There's a lot of legal hurdles and, of course, a lot of board decisions, I'm sure, at play as well as we go through various levels of approval. Maybe not per se within SES Software, because albeit there would be to some degree, they want to try and get these brands in, right? There's no surprise about that. It's the brands themselves that would be the delay in that, I am quite certain of. So again, we'll just have to be patient on that front. It is very, very busy here on the motorway or highway here in Greece. Lots of traffic around. But again, the scenery here in the Greece DLC is absolutely incredible. I know a lot of you own the DLC and have been enjoying it. It is an incredible region. Once again, I've said it many times. I will say it once again. It is an incredible region to explore, an incredible region to, well, just simply drive in and do deliveries. And the islands are one thing, the mainland is another. And the detail level is just incredible to see. The fact that it still performs very, very well, at least again on my system. Not too many issues there. And you know what? I would say, given that I've driven in it for quite some time, I'll try to be as non-biased as I possibly can when I say this. I would personally purchase this without any hesitation. Obviously, take your financial situation to play, but if you are looking for a map expansion and you do not already own the Greece DLC, but maybe you own some of the DLCs moving up around Greece, that dump truck just decided to go a different direction, I guess. But you're looking for a new expansion for ETS2 and you want to explore another beautiful region, pick up the Greece DLC, my friends, or at least try and get it in a bundle. I know SES Software does that at times, and I'm sure even on some of the more recent sales or upcoming Steam sales as well, the DLC will be on sale for that matter, I'm sure, moving forward here, given that it's been out for a little bit of time. And come on, goes to exterior cam. Thank you, game. Sometimes the button doesn't like to work on my wheel, but that is neither here nor there. I would honestly say pick it up. Again, some of you will say, well, that's pretty rich coming from a person who makes content on these DLCs and admittedly gets sent them most of the time, at very least, whenever they are released. Yes, you are right. And I've said it before, I've said it again, and I will continue to say it. My ethical position on things is just who I am as a person, and I am not going to sugarcoat things, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you about anything that I say, and my opinions are my opinions, and my opinions only, and nothing that I ever say or cover here are going to be influenced by another company. I'm not going to sell myself out, right? And I'm too opinionated to have a company buy my opinion for that matter. So don't you worry about that one. So no matter what content I'm doing here on the channel or whatever, whatever type of, type of content or type of, DLC or whatever, even a review for a product. Wouldn't matter what it is. I am going to be honest with you, like it or not. So that is that. I would recommend Greece if you haven't picked it up already, but I know a lot of you have because, well, just take a look at it. It is pretty beautiful to say the least. So I'm actually happy I managed to figure out how to get into this place. I know I was talking away about my ethical standpoint on things, but generally I get lost very easily, and I was actually very impressed that I managed to, not do so when pulling in here. Now I need to figure out where I'm parking this thing. Probably around the back by the looks of it, so we're going to drive around the back, and hopefully it is not a blindside reverse. Knowing my luck, it probably is, but I'm going to hope it's not. Oh, is it one of the angle docks? If it is, I've played a legendary thing here. Oh, perfect. It's in like this. Well, that's not too bad of a reverse. It is kind of blindside because of how parallel it is to the loading dock. Don't know why they need the water tanks up there, or water tankers, sorry. But we won't question it too much, I guess. So let's go ahead and back it up. Get it nice and close to the edge if we can. Okay, turn back. Check the mirror on this side. Didn't really set that side too great, and it really rotated quick because we were in ETS2. Don't scrape the front of the truck there, Prime. Okay, well, I didn't get it very close, but you know what? I'll take it, mainly because ain't no way they're getting these things off from that side of the loading deck. They need to come from this side. They've got plenty of space, so I don't care. Thank you all so much for watching another episode of ETS2 Showcase. It's great to be back here in the Greece DLC driving the beautiful Ford F-Max truck mod available on the Steam Workshop. Once again, the link for it is down in the description below, and comment down below as well what else you want to see me do here on ETS2. I've got a number of exciting things planned here on ETS2, but I can always add things to the content list, so I'm happy to see your suggestions. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.